This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Nate Olson from Scorebook Live. Hey, Nate, high school football season. And so you still got plenty of football left with college and with the NFL. You got D2 championships tomorrow, but I know you're kind of a salt of the earth kind of a football guy. So the end of the high school season has to bring a little bit of melancholy for you.
It does, yeah. I mentioned on Twitter or X, it's bittersweet because we really work hard for 15 weeks, and it's a bit of a relief. But you see the War Memorial Stadium lights go off, and that's the last game, and you think, man, we don't have a game to look forward to for next week. So we really love it, and we love all the sports. But football, we just know there's such a big audience for it. We love talking to you and other people about it, and so that makes it a little bittersweet. But it is kind of nice to have a break. But of course, this week it felt like we were in overtime because we had a bunch of breaking news, and we didn't get much rest this week either.
So tell me what stood out for you last week as far as finishing out the high school championships, and then we can get into some of the big stories, which high school championships are the big stories, but you get some coaching changes and reclassifications, which I think are on the top of a lot of people's minds. That's
right. Well, the biggest thing is Boonville, and Dax Goff was really unbelievable. A lot of people will talk about the controversial ending where some people thought, especially in Prescott, that they didn't spot the ball right, which would have given them some life, but not a lot of life. You're talking about going 68 yards in 30 seconds and no timeouts. Boonville outplayed them. They didn't make mistakes. Prescott made mistakes, and Dax Goff was unbelievable. We've talked all year about how he's a stud on both sides of the ball. He's a terrific running back, and he's a linebacker. And I've always said, a guy is truly a great player, and you see this in all sports, guys, that when they're really good, they show up on the biggest stages. And that's exactly what he did. He was like, I'm going to play, above and beyond even to make sure we win this ball game. And he did, and everybody else around him did. Jace Washburn, the quarterback, playing DB, couple key an interception and pass breakup, and they all played really good, and he stood out. And Harding is getting a real steal getting him.
Yeah, who else was there any other big games, big shootouts that were going on?
The Rivercrest played Harding Academy, and that was a strange game. Harding Academy is up 19 at the half, and we keep thinking, okay, they're gonna put it away. Third quarter, and the game's gonna be over. We'll go into a mercy rule situation, and it was almost kind of like Harding Academy was looking for the trophy presentation to start the third quarter. And Rivercrest was like, nah, we're going to play a little more football. They blocked the punt, they blocked the field goal, and they got back in the game, and they have the ball down 8 with a minute to go, and an opportunity, to score and get a 2-point conversion. And Harding Academy was able to stop them, and they could not get in the end zone. They didn't really get close either. But I thought it was a valiant effort by Rivercrest to, it's not easy when you're sitting there in the dressing room. You've been in this situation, Matt, probably. You're down 3 touchdowns. Not much is going right, and Harding Academy is really good to come back out in the third quarter and really buckle down. And so I think they need to be commended for that. But Harding Academy, undefeated season, a tough road that ended up going through Elkins, which was a big game, and they won that. So just a lot of congratulations to Harding Academy and then Harding University on the same day. They're going to a national championship, and Coach Simmons at Harding University, Paul Simmons, sees his team win and go to a championship, and his sons, including Wyatt, who's going to Arkansas, win a state title on the same day. Very special for the Searcy community.
Well, I guess we should hit on these reclassifications, or you want to hit on Kevin Kelly first, because it's very interesting.
That's fine.
Didn't Eric Koyu just left Little Rock Christian to help start Is it Israel's under-20 team? I might be getting the age wrong, but it's an interesting thing that he's leaving for. And it was just the day before that Sheridan announces their hiring of Kevin Kelly. And you see people like, well, is he going to do a Bobby Petrino now and go to the next place, which is close to where he coached previously, of course. What do you think here?
Well, that would be par for the course that we would have to open up another, breaking news watch. But we did all week. We were keeping tabs on Kevin and broke that story. We were at the school board meeting when they announced him as the head coach. But it does not sound like it. A lot of people were talking about that in Little Rock yesterday. I mean, that was the popular rumor, especially since he had not signed the contract yet. But it's my understanding that the contract is delivered or about to be, and he will sign that, and it will be officially official that he will be going to Sheridan. But, yeah, that certainly opened up some possibilities because especially, he hadn't signed the contract, and there were a lot of rumors floating around. And I think Little Rock Christian, especially the parents, really would love to have him there. When you talk about them being big rivals, and he was able to beat them quite often, they know what he can do, and what he brings and the familiarity and all that. But I think he's staying true to Sheridan, and that is going to be a monumental task for him. They have not won a playoff game since '87. They have two seasons where they've been over 500 since 2000. So you're talking about a program that is really unstable. This is their third coach in 3 years. He has to go there and put all of his stuff in and have a different mindset there. I think it's a huge task. I mean, we were talking to him just about how do you pick somebody out that can do the onside kick, and he shed some light on that. And he's like, basically, you take the entire team and you let them try it, and you narrow it down to a couple guys, and then you pick a guy from there. And that's going to be the way that if they win some games, they're going to be able to do it because they aren't as talented as a lot of these other teams. You get a couple extra possessions that way. That might be a way that you can get the program going. But everything he does is so detailed and difficult. To put that in from scratch just seems very tough. PA, they were running that stuff at the 5th and 6th grade level. By the time they got to the 9th grade, they knew how to run that offense. They knew all the gadgets that came with it, and they knew how to do onside kicks. So it's going to be very interesting to see this, how this unfolds, and if he's able to be successful. But I've always said he is one of those handful of coaches, and Gus Malzahn proved this too, starting off at Hughes and going to Shiloh and then to college. You can put him in a lot of places and he'll be successful because he knows how to coach football. This will definitely put it to the test right here if he's successful at Sheridan.
Yeah, because sometimes a product of motivation, but being able to convey a certain message is something he does extremely well. Do you think that that's a benefit for when you're looking at, let's say, these teams that made it to Little Rock and made it into the state championship game? How healthy is the 7th grade division? How healthy is the 5th and 6th and 7th, the junior high? Are a lot of those teams kind of running the same type of offense? Yeah,
I think so. Most of them that are, there's continuity and. Someone like in Little Rock, they're coming from all over to Parkview, so not so much there. But like at, Bryan here, we're running the same stuff. I can say that because, my son's in
like
9th grade.
Greenwood.
We're doing a lot. Yeah, Greenwood. Yeah. And that's going to be the key there is I told somebody they may not win next year, the year after. The way they're going to build this program is have the kids that are in 4th and 5th grade get every good athlete to come out for football and get that Pee Wee program going and get them running the passing offense, getting them onside kicking. So they have 4 years under their belt when they get that. That's what made PA so well because everybody ran the same thing and they were ready to do it, when they got to the varsity level.
I got to ask you about the reclassifications, and then I want to hit on maybe the idea. Isn't Oklahoma kicking around the idea of maybe allowing kids to transfer in high school? And it feels like you're getting to the point of where the NCAA is going to be forced to allow kids to transfer as well. So, but let's hit on the reclassification first. I know North Side and South Side are moving. South Side's moving down a classification. There's just a lot of movement, and it all starts for the 2024 football season. You get these leagues for 3 years.
Yep. Very popular story on SP Live yesterday. A lot of people wanting to know where they're going to go. It's like we get one football season done and we're ready for the next one. I think the big winners here were the Fort Smith schools. We talked at length about how good Southside was this year, and they're playing in 7A West. Won the playoff game on the road. They had two great. You put those guys in 6A, they would have been a real problem this year. Kim Dameron, the former Razorback, college coach, they could really do well in 6A. They'll be in the 6A West, and they're going to be in there with Shiloh Christian, who moves up. So you've got Greenwood, Southside, Shiloh Christian, Lake Hamilton. That's a good league. And you lose Little Rock Christian out of there. But that's a good league with some very interesting matchups. And I think you've got to feel good if you're Southside. And then, Shiloh is in a 6A school situation now, which is crazy. I think they're a 3A enrollment. But they find ways to win. They have a good system. They've got a young quarterback that's going to be a sophomore. A lot of people think it's a Division I caliber quarterback. So you throw them in there, and Northside's going to the West, which it's a win for them. They don't have to travel to Central Arkansas anymore. So the competition is pretty great up there, but probably not any worse than the Central with Bryant and Conway and Cabot. So they have to be a little happier that on Tuesday nights they're going to Northwest Arkansas and not to Little Rock for volleyball and basketball and things like that. I think it worked out really well for them. But all those things are going to be interesting to see, and I'm very interested in Shiloh. And then you've got Little Rock Christian and PA who are now in the 7A Central. That is going to be something to see as well.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I still think of Pulaski Academy as being in the. Were they in the 4A before? Just the 3 cycles ago, and all the way up to 7A. I guess when you win as many games and state championships, this might happen.
They were in the 3A when I first got here, in the early 2000s. Yeah, their enrollment is not a lot, and that's the thing that's going to make it tough on Anthony Lucas. I mean, you have 70 guys out for football. Maybe you're scraping the bottom of that barrel to get 80 or something. You go over to Bryant, there's 120 on the sideline. I mean, that is tough. And they've played Bryant in scrimmages, and they pride themselves on how well they've done. They've beaten Cabot on the road before, but can they do the gamut? Can they play Cabot, Bryant, and Conway all at the same time? Can they go to North Little Rock even though they're struggling and win? And do that night in and night out. Also, at a time where they're probably not as strong, it looks like cycle has kind of gone down with their talent. So they're really not doing this at the right time. They're not doing this a few years ago when Kevin had won 5 in a row, and they were really clicked. Now it was a bad year for them. They go to the finals and lose, which schools will love to have a bad year like that. But it doesn't seem like the talent maybe is there like it has been. And now you've got to go compete against schools that have more kids and more depth. So that could be a little troublesome for them in Little Rock Christian.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.